What should you be doing with your Bounce Rose Orb? Is the monthly card in Blue Protocol Star Resonance worth it? Is the Advanced Battle Pass or even the Supreme Battle Pass worth it? What does it mean by that it has a 1800% value? These are some of the most common questions in terms of monetization that I've been getting about Blue Protocol Star Resonance. So in this video, I want to give you guys a detailed breakdown about all of these different aspects so you can decide if you want to spend money on this game, in my personal opinion. Sup boys, just as a quick reminder before we get started, I'll be debuting my full VTuber sometime soon, so if you're not subscribed or if you're not following on the Twitch livestream, be sure to do so. Let's get started. We'll start with the most important one, which is Bounce Rose Orb. Bounce Rose Orb is the most important premium currency in the game as it lets you buy most of the progression related item. You can convert unbounced Rose Orbs into bounced Rose Orbs, but the unbounced Rose Orb is from paying with your credit card only. However, as a quick reminder that paying on the website is cheaper than paying in the game. In the game, you have $100 for 6,480 orb. If you paid on the website, it's only $90. You get an 8% discount. So definitely use the website if you do decide to spend. Personally, I'm going to be completely free to play on Blue Protocol Star Resonance. So again, if you'd like to follow my free to play journey, definitely do so. The most common question that I'm currently getting is that is it worth to spend your orbs on the gachas? And to that, I would say be very careful and hold off on spending orbs on the gachas for now. In my opinion, the gacha is not worth it. You can always come back and spend on the gachas when you do realize you want to spend on the gachas. The reason is because when it comes down to the gachas, unless you get something usable, the gacha has no benefit to you at the current moment. You do get the recipe, but as a reminder again, is that you have to have the material before you're able to actually craft the corresponding emojis. So even getting the recipe doesn't help you. That's not to talk about that if you're unlucky and you don't get the recipe you want, then it's completely useless. This applies to the SSR or any of the SR. You can dismantle the unwanted recipe into fragment and then exchange for a wheel that you want, but then you're going to come into a similar problem as before, which is that you're not going to have the material to use it anyway. So I would suggest only considering the gachas when you have the material ready and when you have a lot of spare rose orbs, so that even if you're not getting the recipe that you want, you're able to dismantle it into the one you want. So I would say only consider the gacha when you have stacked up a bunch of orbs, maybe something like 8,000 to 9,000 orbs, so you can just pull like 30-40 pull. And if you're not too unlucky, you get like 2 to 3 SR, combine it with the fragment you get, at least you can craft something useful out of it. For the time being, I would 100% steer away from the gacha. A lot of people don't seem to notice, but the most important thing to use your Bounce Rose Orb on is going to be the mystery shop, because this gives you progression items that are otherwise going to be very limited, very time gated. Skill book is the most important one. The amount of skill book that you need late game is insane, and you get so little. You only really get the 25 per week from the honor shop. So getting free extra skill book here for 90 Bounce Rose Orbs, very valuable. This is the most important thing to buy. Starforce crystals, another thing to consider. Starforce crystals is also very limited. After doing your dungeons and stuff like that, after buying it out from the shop, there's very little sources of Starforce crystals, so this is another thing that I would strongly consider. The thing when it comes down to Bounce Rose Orb is that when we're at the beginning of the game, you feel like you have a lot of Rose Orb to spare on the gachas, but that's a delusion because they're giving us a lot of orbs because it is the start of the game right now. There's a lot of also one-time activity that gives you a lot of orbs that you won't be able to acquire later. Again, handbooks, for example, a lot of the achievement, the first time bonus for monster hunting give you a lot of orbs. Once you have exhausted the resource of all of these orbs, you won't get any orbs anymore, and so it's really hard to say how much orb we can expect on the global version. In the CN version, the game launches so bad that they gave a lot of people 1 billion orbs, so the amount of orb you got on CN is a super inaccurate representation of how many orbs we get on global. Nobody knows how many orbs you get on global, so as a result, I would save it until you realize that we have a lot. Then you can consider spending it on the gachas. Otherwise, for now, I would just save orbs, buy out the mystery stop daily slowly, and when you do have an excessive amount of orb, like 8,000, 9,000, to the point where you're like, I'm never gonna spend this on the mystery storm, then you can consider the gacha. There's obviously the orb storm as well. In my personal opinion, most of these items are best quality of life or fast track. Obviously, you have exquisite material that you can get by playing the game normally, but if you want to fast track, then you have this as well. You have the recall key, which is only really used if you somehow mess up your skill leveling and you want to reset it earlier. Hero radiance if you want to unlock it in another class, which I've talked about why you should not try to chase for another class, because it's just so expensive to buy the hero radiance, and you won't be able to play another class in a reasonable level. You did get one for free from the quest. Definitely save this until you realize what class you want to play on a secondary level. Now, the most efficient way to acquire Bounce Rose Orb is of course going to be the monthly card. This is always going to be the most valuable thing, just like other gadgets game. You get 300 of these unbound Rose Orb instantly, and then every day you get 100 of the Bounce Rose Orb and 5,000 Luno. Very, very valuable. If you're willing to spend, this is definitely a good choice. Keep in mind that these orbs are the Bounce Rose Orbs, so they only allow you to purchase things that are like the material, the gacha, and stuff like that. If you're like a fashion enjoyer, fashion player, which by the way, Giga Chat, fashion is always the end game, the thing you should care about the most. You can't use the Bounce Rose Orbs because these are unbounce orbs. So the monthly card might not help you work toward getting the fashion item that you want. There's no way you think that like, oh, I'm just gonna buy the $5 monthly card and I'll just wait a month and then I'll be able to get one of these like really, really cool fashion outfit. That doesn't work because these are Rose Orb only, and the monthly card give you Bounce Rose Orb. So be very careful of falling into this trap. The monthly card also gives you 5,000 Luno per day for 30 days. That's going to be 150,000 Luno. But more importantly, it gives you privilege. The most important privilege is probably the trading tax minus 20%. When you sell things on the auction house, it takes a 5% tax away. With a 20% then discount, it takes 4% tax away instead. So you can almost think of it as making you a little bit more money. In total, you're probably going to get, depending on what you sell, a good amount of more money, maybe like something, let's say like a 30,000 in total from the monthly card. Now, when it comes down to how much Luno are worth, it's really, really hard to say. It really comes down to how the market function and how people are selling stuff. However, I do have to say that item on the auction house do have a minimum price, which some of these things have already hit. For example, 1,200,000 is the minimum price of this. You cannot go any more, even if there's more. So that's why everyone is selling at this price. So even if the monthly card gives you about 300,000 Luno of benefit, it will still take you 4 months of the monthly pass in order to acquire one wheel from the trading center. So that's, in that sense, you can kind of gauge how much Luno is worth to you. And again, it really depends on the auction house. If you're trying to buy skill book today, right now, they're very, very expensive. The amount of money you can get is very, very little, and you can just like wait another week for the reputation shop to get another like 25 skill book and stuff like that. So you should evaluate how much Luno is worth to you. Are you gonna buy stuff now? Are you gonna buy stuff later? What are you gonna do with it and stuff like that? To me, monthly card, in my opinion, not really worth it unless you have a strong use of the Rose Orb, either because you're buying the battle pass to get the refresh on the mystery shop, or because you're really chasing for the SSR Imagi and you need the Bounce Orb to roll. But keep in mind that the banner is eventually going to rotate, so you have to collect enough orbs before the banner rotate to pity for the SSR anyway. So that's something to keep in mind. You can't just keep buying the monthly pass over and over and hope that the Imagi is good. Maybe the one in the next season, we have no idea what the one in the next season look like at the current moment. Next up, we have Battle Pass. Now, the Battle Pass is a 1000% value and 1800% value. What does this mean? One of the most common questions I get. Honestly, I have no effing clue. Whatever this percentage means, complete bait. Marketing tactic, who knows? Simply look at the item they give you and evaluate if it's worth to you. They give a Battle Pass exclusive cosmetic, which to some people is like different values, but let's look at the other things related to progression. Bounce Rose Orbs. Again, we talked about this one already. Luno, we kind of talked about this one. The amount of Luno you get is nice, but not significant enough to really buy some of the item. Again, evaluate what you want on the auction house, what are the price and stuff like that, and debate if this Luno is useful to you. Bound Lunos, good for rerolling gems late game and stuff like that. Bound Lux Wish Coin, this is for cosmetic only. 10 Battle Pass or 10 Gacha Wheel Wish Coin. The Gacha Wheel Wish Coin is kind of nice. It do build you toward the pity. The problem here is that, as I talked about many times, the Gacha banner is only as good as if you got something good or if you got something usable out of it. If there is a reason why you're pulling on the Gacha's banner, great, 10 extra pull is pretty cool. If not, then the 10 extra pool might not actually ever mean anything, because it's not actually providing you anything valuable if you get unlucky. Amp-Bomb Power Part. The Amp-Bomb Power Part is used for a system later called Armband. For the most part, the Armband is a gear score pattern, so this kind of just gives you a higher gear score without giving you actual any DPS benefit. The Alloy Shard lets you exchange for epic gear, which is gonna completely phase out very fast, so completely useless. Mixing agents, all these cosmetic items are whatever. Like Arcane Seals is whatever. Eventually late game you're gonna get a lot of this to the point where you have no idea what to do. Getting 15 Arcane Seal early is absolutely meaningless. Die Pack, again, cosmetic item. Speed Up Cheat, not useless, but if you don't understand what the tree up treat does, it basically gives you 3 times the clear reward on the next clear. So you're basically just clearing dungeons 3 times as fast as someone else, but a free-to-play player can just simply do extra dungeon runs. So this is more like a convenient item that you can do. What is a worthless but not particularly valuable in terms of progression price tag? Revive Candy. I mean, if you need to revive, but you know, like, probably worthless in my opinion. Focus Potion is probably the most valuable one, just because it gives more focus, allows you to do more life skills. 1200 focus can convert directly into some amount of life skills item, especially if you save it and eventually use it on the more resource intensive one, like the purple one that just gives you more refinement item. So therefore the refinement item is probably the most important. Overall, I would say the battle pass is, the $10 battle pass is not worth it, because it does give you a little bit ahead in terms of progression item. Like you can spend the Luno if you have a use for it. The Amp-Bomb Power Part lets you pad your gear score a little higher, so it's meaningless progression. Wish Coin, depend on your views on the gachas banner, and the Focus Potion is really the only item that reasonably progress your progression in my opinion. It gives you like it could get you like slightly ahead, like 1 refinement ahead, but I feel like that 1 refinement or like whatever it gets you is not so significant that you have to get the battle pass. So like my point is that someone with the $10 battle pass and someone free to play, you probably won't feel the difference at all. So even though you're slightly ahead, it doesn't really matter when it comes down to you. You probably won't really notice this difference, significant difference at all with or without the battle pass. Obviously, if you want some of the item like the cosmetic item, that's like a different story and stuff like that, right? Or you just want to progress slightly faster because you're able to get some stuff. The situation is that the battle pass has 2 tiers. There is a second supreme version. Now normally in most gacha games, the supreme version only gives you extra level. It lets you advance the battle pass slightly faster and does nothing in the long run. This is not the case in this game. The Supreme Battle Pass is arguably the most valuable thing to spend your money on, because it have the one and only thing that can actually accelerate your progression. The Mystery Stop Refresh. The Mystery Store Refresh. All the other garbage like activity merit 20% faster, okay, but you can cap out your 500 activity merit every day anyway. Your honor coin cap out a little bit faster, but there's a weekly cap on your honor coin anyway. Season pass EXP efficiency and getting like all the way to the highest level, and after this point you're not really getting anything valuable, so getting faster season pass leveling not important. Mystery Store Refresh is the strongest thing between all the monetization methods, because it straight up give you 2 mystery shop instead of 1 mystery shop, which is going to be this, right? So it has the potential to get you 2 times the amount of skill books, 2 times the amount of Star Forge item, 2 times the amount of whatever, complete RNG. People don't understand is that the mystery shop is complete RNG. It's different for everyone and refresh every day. If you're the battle pass, you get 2 shop per day instead of 1 shop per day. Twice the amount of potential to get material from the mystery shop than someone else, and you'll just be able to get skill books, Star Forge crystals much faster than someone else. You still have to spend the bounce rose orb on the mystery shop when you do refreshes, so it's not free, which is why I did mention that the biggest use of the monthly card is potentially to be paired together with the battle pass, because the battle pass gives you the privilege to get a second shop, and then the monthly card gives you the orbs to buy out the second shop, right? So you kind of have to buy both. It really comes down to how much orbs we get for free in the game. Once again, like nobody really knows for the global version, But I would expect that if you're going to be buying more stuff, then you're going to cost more orbs. So you might have to consider for the monthly card as well. The easiest way for me to explain this to you, the easiest way for you to visualize is that the mystery store is such an essential part of anyone's progression, free to play or pay to win, as we have talked about many times in these videos. So getting a second shop is just so much better. It's just that much better in terms of your progression, which is why between everything, the expensive battle pass is the biggest and the strongest one purely for this right here. I know that's very, very painful because then like all the item in here, the 1800% value, the monthly card, a bajillion% value kind of do mean nothing. And I hope this video helped illustrate why I use like some of these items might not be worth it. Again, worth is a relative thing. People have different abilities to spend. Some people don't really enjoy spending money on the game. Personally, I'm going to be completely free to play. I'm trying to do a complete free to play marksman challenge only on Brew Protocol Star Residence. So it's hard for me to give like a one size fit all answers. And I apologize for making this video really, really long, but I want to try and give the most accurate, the most detailed, covering everything because it involves spending money that everyone has a different point of view on. Monetization has always been one of the biggest topics, and in my opinion, in my very honest opinion, this game tried to hide the monetization aspect by attaching arbitrary price tag like 1800% value. Okay, but what does that really mean? Hiding the Will Wish gacha banner in an NPC at a town. I see so many people telling me that. What do you mean you can reroll? What do you mean there's a imagined gacha in the game? I didn't know that. And of course, most importantly, the cycle of converting your pay rose orb into Luno and then converting that Luno for free-to-play player into bounce rose orb. This game is designed to trap you in this ecosystem, which don't get me wrong. Every single game need to make money. Every single company do this. Every single company tries its best to make you stay in their ecosystem so that they can make money. Starbucks do this by letting you reload on their Starbucks card and stuff like that. The short version is, in my opinion, spending a small amount of money in this game gives you negligible benefit. You will be ahead of someone who don't spend money. You will be stronger, but you won't be so much stronger to the point where you notice a difference between you in terms of your progression to someone who is free to play. Maybe if you're lazy and you're paying for convenient item and stuff like that, then it could be worth it. But compared to someone who tried really hard as a free to play, you paying a few dollars will not make a difference in the long run, is my very honest opinion, which is why I feel like it's not really worth it to spend that much money. The only times where it really make a big difference is if you drop a tons of money into start buying all the material. Because for example, like you can spend a couple dollars, you can get the recipe in the game on the Will Wish, but you have no way to use that recipe unless you keep on buying more of the orbs and then you keep on buying the material from their cash shop. So something like that is like why I'm like, yeah, you spent $20, you got really lucky and you got a will. Now what? Can't do anything with it unless you keep spending more money. And the game is designed to be like that, so that after you spend $20, you realize you have to spend more money and then you spend more money, right? Which is why I want to make this video very clear. Again, every game needs some kind of monetization to survive. Someone has to spend money for this game to keep running. So I'm not against spending money if you do want to spend money. I think if you enjoy the game, you like the game, spending a little money, especially on the fashion related item, could be really good. I really, really like the fashion in this game. I think it's very customizable. I think it lets you express your character very well. I'll be doing a stream where I customize my characters to look like my VTuber very soon using the orbs I get from the creator program. But again, like, sorry to go back and forth. Sorry for a long video. It's spending money. Everyone has a different financial goal. In my personal opinion, like spender in this game, not really worth it. But be sure to make sure you know what you're spending into before you do spend that money. So that's it for this video. That's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.